Artificial intelligence, or AI, is not just a buzzword anymore.
Hello, my name is Ashilla and these are my friends.
Nadia, Nameera, and Nayla.
So, what is education?
Education functions as a comprehensive process through which knowledge, values, morals, and cultural traditions are passed from one generation to the next, forming a fundamental pillar in shaping both individuals and society. It takes place in two primary forms: formal institutions such as schools and universities, and non-formal settings like community programs, workshops, or cultural activities, each of them contributing uniquely to human development. On a global scale, education also acts as a form of soft power, enabling countries to build influence and strengthen international relations through scholarships, student exchange, and cross-cultural learning initiatives. Beyond these global dynamics, education plays several crucial roles. It enhances intellectual and personal capacities, preserves and conveys cultural heritage, opens pathways for social mobility, and support broader national development goals.
So, I guess that is education, but now we're moving on to what exactly is science and technology.
Science is the systematic pursuit of knowledge about the world. It grows from humanity's desire to understand our surroundings through careful observation, investigation, and evidence. Through this process, science builds the foundation that allows us to interpret both natural and social phenomena. Technology, on the other hand, is the application of that scientific knowledge to solve problems. It takes what we discover and transforms it into tools, systems, and innovations that shape daily life. From medical instruments to communication network, technology turns understanding into action. Today, science and technology reshape communication, the economy, health, security, and governance. They are central to globalization, digital diplomacy, cybersecurity, and the development of artificial intelligence. As they create new opportunities, they also introduce challenges. These advances require responsible and ethical governance to guide their impact. Science helps us understand the world. Technology helps us solve its problem, and together they continue to shape the future of human civilization.
Oh, so that is science and technology. But what is art?
Art reflects the imagination, emotion, and identity of individuals and communities. It embodies cultural memory and serves as a creative doorway to understanding humanity from multiple perspectives. In a global society, art becomes a form of cultural diplomacy, enabling nations to communicate their values and uniqueness through film, music, exhibition, and creative industries. Whether expressed through visual art, performance, literature, design, or digital media, art carries several important functions. It captures personal and collective emotions, preserves tradition, encourages creative thought, and offers alternative ways to interpret social realities. Through these roles, art strengthens cultural understanding across borders.
I finally understand art now. Guys, I think we're done here. It's time to go. Okay, let's go. Bye, guys. Bye.
But what about the theories? International relations, there are some theories that can relate with the topics, like human capital theory, modernization theory, soft power theory, science diplomacy, cultural theory, world system theory. Human capital theory emphasizes that a nation's greatest strength lies in the knowledge, skills, creativity, and productivity of its people. It argues that education, training, experience, and health are forms of capital that increase a person's value and potential contribution to society. When government invests in high-quality schooling, vocational programs, research institutions, human resources, and lifelong learning, they are essentially building stronger human resources. Modernization theory. Modernization theory explains how societies evolve from traditional structures into more industrialized, urbanized, and technological advanced forms. It suggests that progress follows a broad pathway often marked by economic diversification, improved infrastructure, growth of education, rational governance, and wider participation in global systems. Soft power theory. Soft power refers to the ability of a country, group, or institution to influence others rather than coercions or force. Instead of relying on military or economic pressure, soft power operates through cultural appeal, political values, diplomacy, education, and moral reputation. Nations can gain influence when their music, films, traditions, institutions, or even global behavior inspire admiration. The strength of soft power often lies in credibility, trust, and shared values. Science diplomacy. Science diplomacy highlights the role of scientific knowledge, research collaboration, and technological cooperation in maintaining peaceful and constructive international relationships. It recognizes that many global challenges, such as health, environment, innovation, and economic development, cannot be solved by one country alone. Through scientific partnership, states build trust, exchange expertise, and open communication channels even when political tension exists. Cultural theory examines how values, beliefs, tradition, and social norms shapes the way individuals and society interpret the world. It argues that culture influences behavior, decision-making, attitudes towards change, and reactions to global events. Societies may support or resist new ideas depending on how those ideas align with cultural identity. Culture affects education, politics, economics, and social life, from communication styles and artistic expression to moral expectation and community relationships. Lastly, world system theory. World system theory analyzes global inequality by dividing the world into three interconnected zones: core, semi-periphery, and periphery. Core countries tend to be wealthier, more industrialized, and more technological advanced, like, for example, the United States or countries like in Europe. They dominate global markets and control economic flows. Semi-peripheral countries occupy a middle position, participating in global production but lacking the full advantages of core economics. Peripheral countries often supply raw materials or low-skilled labor and depend heavily on external powers. This framework argues that global inequality is not accidental but structured through historical and economic relationships. The world economy operates on a single system where wealth and power concentrate in core regions while other remains dependent. The theory reveals how global hierarchies shape development, opportunity, and long-term inequality.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, is not just a buzzword anymore.
The rapid rise of artificial intelligence capable of performing complex tasks marks one of the greatest social-political transformations in modern civilization. As machines begin to write reports, collect data, design images, and even create music or film, societies are forced to rethink how education, science, technology, and art function as the core pillars of human progress. Government strengthen digital literacy, critical reasoning, and creative capacity, reflecting human capital theory, which treats human skill as a strategic asset. Yet unequal access to AI-based education, wider social divides, and risk of reliance on automated systems. As AI spreads across institutions and industry, it pushes society toward more digital, interconnected structures consistent with modernization theory, but also introduces job insecurity, data ethics dispute, and pressure for rapid adaptation. This dynamic is visible in South Korea 2023-2025 AI reform, which modernized school, expanded research, infrastructure, and endorsed AI-generated cultural production. While the reform enhances competitiveness and reshapes the three pillars, critics warns about tech monopolies and cultural authenticity. On the global stage, AI becomes a diplomatic tool as states compete to influence standards and governance. The United States elevated technological creativity, China invested large-scale deployment, and the European Union advances regulatory leadership, illustrating soft power where scientific advancement, educational excellence, and cultural output attract international influence. However, this rivalry forced protectionism and geopolitical tension, prompting debates about whose technological values shape global norms. At the same time, cooperation remains necessary. International bodies such as UNESCO and the OECD and the G7 promote ethical frameworks to manage risk, including misinformation, algorithmic bias, and privacy violation. This reflects science diplomacy, where collaboration across educators, technologies, and cultural actors become essential for security through the uneven adoption of global standards reveal persistent power imbalance. Cultural response to AI vary widely, with some society embracing innovation and others fearing unemployment or cultural erosion. These differences align with cultural theory, highlighting how social values share acceptance or resistance to technical change. Underlying this development is structural inequality in global AI capacity. Only a handful of powerful nations control the advanced computing resources, research ecosystem, and cultural industry that define AI leadership. This reality aligns with world system theory, as core theories dominate innovation, while peripheral states depend on imported tools, worsening disparities in education, hindering scientific development, and saturating cultural spaces with modern AI-driven content. At the same time, AI offers opportunities for developing states to bypass all the barriers, but only with equitable investment and access. Since AI affects all dimensions of civilization and international life, global leaders increasingly treat responsible AI as a shared obligation. Efforts to build universal safety rule, cultural protection, and governance framework mirror global public goods theory, which argues that safe transparent AI must be collectively secured. In this context, strengthening the pillar of education, and technology, and art becomes necessary not only for adapting technological change, but also for maintaining cultural meaning, political stability, and diplomatic cooperation in AI shaped world. Thank you. That is all from me.